Alrighty, so what's up guys? I'm back with another video. This one is going to be a really unorganized, all over the place kind of video, so I hope you guys enjoy. Be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Also be sure to follow me on Instagram. So with that all out of the way, I took a few days off these last few days of December just to, catch up on making content, and I did have some days to kill, so what better time to take off than the holidays? I've been seeing a lot of people put out their top 10, 5, 20, however many numbered lists of the year, whether it's releases or pickups, all that jazz. So I obviously want to partake in the festivities just given the time sensitivity, but I don't know exactly what to do, so I figured I could show you guys some of my top sneaker pickups in no specific order, no specific value tied to it, although I will have pasted at some point in the video the total I've spent on sneakers this year because it has been a lot. I keep it organized in this little spreadsheet of a bunch of other things, but it's been an excessive amount. I don't even want to look at it right now, so I'm gonna wait till while I'm editing. Bruh. It's been a really interesting year, so I drill it down to, not being able to do normal things like eat out as much or travel as nearly as much, so I guess sneakers have been the thing. Not sure if I noted it earlier, but this is pickups that I've made this year, so not necessarily that released this year, but just pickups that I've made this year. So I guess we could get started with this one industrial rack. Particularly at the top are a few New Balances. There are two within this rack that I do want to note. They're both 998s. I haven't had a 998 up until this year, and it's funny too because a lot of the views on my channel are of older, more GR New Balances that nobody really knows about, and these two I think are a good example of them, so let me pull them down and show you guys. I figured too I'm probably gonna do this all with one hand, so let's move all this stuff out of the way. So here's the first pair. It's the New Balance 998 in this brown sugar or curry colorway. This is my first sort of brown curry colored sneaker. As much as I like it, I haven't had a chance to wear them yet this year, but now that it's December, January, still cool for these colder months. And this is a super slept on 998. I think if these came out now in 2020 or 2021 with New Balance having all of this momentum in this sort of streetwear sneaker game, these things would be an instant classic, instant sellout, but these things released in what I want to say was 2018 when nobody was really paying attention to the brand, so I definitely came up on these. And then in that same vein, I mentioned it's another 998. This one is much more unique, not colorway wise, but story wise. So these are a 998 in what looks to be like an Americana red, white, and blue colorway, which you're not wrong, that's obviously it. But if you look at the box label on these things, they are a US 1 of 1 V1. So this is different from New Balance's NB1 program, which is essentially like a Nike by You, Nike ID sort of thing. Rather, this one is genuinely a 1 of 1. There's no one else that has this same colorway or same shoe in a 9.5. I haven't made a video on these. I probably should now that I'm pulling them out, but essentially these were part of that sort of surplus release that was in what I want to say early 2020. New Balance put out this crazy marketing material of 998s with this surplus material, and people thought that was how they're going to show up. And there are only like 100 pairs floating around or something like that. I'd have to fact check myself. Yeah, man, these are super cool. So at some point I'll drop the video. Just stay tuned. Just be patient. I have a lot of things that are on my agenda right now. So the remainder of this shelf is pretty much all Nike sneakers, and to be specific are Nike Dunks, SB Dunks if we really want to drill down into it. Yank these things out. Wow, I didn't even, oh wow. These two sneakers you've seen on the channel already, so I don't need to dig into them too much. But this first pair is the University Red or St. John's Dunk Low. Steph got lucky on sneakers and hit on these, and they came out right around the time of my birthday this year in July, so definitely super glad to have these. These things are super simple, super clean. Nice one to pick up this year. I never really look at resale value, but these things are going for a crazy amount. Literally same exact vein. These things are also going for a crazy amount in the resale market. It's probably just because of the dunk hype and sort of the uniqueness of them. But these are the Community Garden Lows. Same thing again, Steph hit on these on the sneakers app. She had early access for these, so it's a little different. I've been doing this thing for a while now, and I've never once gotten early access, so there's something lucky about her count. She's actually had some good W's on there this year. Recycled materials on a dunk colorway is pretty unique, so I could kind of see the hype, but I wouldn't pay resale prices for these, so glad to have these at retail. I like them a lot, and despite the crazy... Oh, there she is calling me right now. But yeah, super cool and one of my favorite pickups this year. There are more in these racks below, so I figure I'll save some time and just pull out all the ones worth talking about right now. Sorry if you don't like dunks, but I did pick up a lot this year, and you know, a bunch of them are things that I like. Obviously stuff Dylan likes. Bruh. Starting with this gold box, you guys know what these are, or should know what these are. These are the Quagmire Dunk Highs. These are probably my most favorite SB dunk of all time. Loved Family Guy growing up. There was a kid in high school that had these back when prices were pretty much what they are now too. This is probably the most expensive I paid resale for. I don't even want to mention how much I paid for them, but they're brand new. Which is part of the reason why. Can't get enough of these things. Can't wait to pull them out. Not gonna pull them out now in the winter, but you know, come spring, summertime, these things are definitely getting worn. Next up, we have a few blue boxes. I already pulled this one out, but it is the resin dunk. It's most notably in the Gucci colorway, even though it has no tie to Gucci at all. I'm surprised I haven't worked on this video yet because I picked these up in like August. But yeah, these things are super clean. I remember these things in high school. The blue box era, I talk about it all the time in my dunk videos, was prime Nike SB for me at least, so had to go back and get a few, and this was one of them. I say it all the time, but stay tuned for the video on these. Something that I could confidently say though that the video will be coming soon is these, the Cigar City dunks. Same thing, so a commonality between these quags, these resins, and these is that they're all brand new, all from over a decade ago now. So I actually just worked on this video and it's ready to upload. It's just a matter of finding a spot in the queue to upload. These three all just bring me back to high school, which is why they're probably part of my favorite pickups this year. Fast forward a little bit, this is a quick strike Nike SB box, and these things are the Tiffany Dunk High, or the Diamond Supply Co collab. So the Tiffany Dunk Low is probably one of the most iconic dunks of all time, and obviously prices on those are way crazy, and you know, I'm not gonna pay thousands of dollars for a shoe that came out in like 2005, so this was the next best thing. I hunted these down on Grailed for a good price and met up with the dude locally, so again, the nostalgia does it for me, which is why it is one of my favorite pickups this year. Here is one that is very recent, not a lot of noise behind them, but to me they're one of my favorites. This is from the Orange Label release in 2019, and it is the Oski Shark Dunk. So Oski is a rider on Nike SB, and they gave him his own signature dunk, or they let him design his own dunk, and it is this. He worked on a few other Nike SB silhouettes, but this one is probably the most polarizing because it uses a shark instead of a typical Nike swoosh. You know, beyond the shark detail, it's a pretty simple sneaker. It's an all black and sail or creamish color, but you know, the shark really does it for me. Super unique. You're not seeing these on people's feet. A lot of dunk pickups I know. There are a few more to chat about, so let me dig into those as well. So all these dunks have actually been pulled out because videos are in the works. A lot of recency bias comes into play here too, because not only has the dunk hype been at an all-time high, but just these are all recent release Nike dunks. There are two that I do want to specify, but some honorable mentions. I really do like these Champ Colors ones. I've been looking for a long while for these at a good price. I paid resale for them, obviously, because you know, it's really hard getting dunks for retail nowadays, so I got these for a good price. I actually really like that colorway. I like it more than the Brazils, which is crazy because that one is more hyped up, but this colorway is just much more wearable to me. That's not what I want to chat about. It's these two dunks right here. So if you don't know what this one is, this is the Sean Cliver Dunk Low, dubbed as the holiday special. There's some really good storytelling behind these. The video is in the works, so I'll leave it at that. These are probably one of the most hyped dunks to come out this year. Again, 2020 was the year of the dunk, and I'm glad this one made the cut for this video and came in time. Steph got lucky on sneakers and grabbed them in my size, which is amazing. So I've said it before, but her sneakers account is pretty loaded. Super glad that she's sort of taking part in this and letting me get these things that, you know, normally I wouldn't be able to. And then non-SB, here's a Nike Sportswear dunk, dubbed as the Varsity Maze, or the Iowas, or the Wu-Tangs. So these recently dropped. Missed on a raffle from our local boutique. Missed on sneakers, obviously, so I tried pretty hard to get these. I went through all the hoops to try to get them, and obviously didn't. I got this pair for Christmas from Steph. She got them on StockX, and they came in right before the holidays, which is awesome. It's funny, too, because I have a second pair on the way because I wanted them really badly, so I went ahead and bought them myself unknowingly. For that reason, these are definitely making the cut because the color blocking is super cool and, you know, enough to warrant two pairs. I'll go into the story more in depth once I drop the review video on these. But yeah, I'm glad to have these. These are definitely one of my favorites this year for sure. I figured we could go to the next station. There are a few honorable mentions, and I do like them a lot, but not enough to make this sort of cut. These two are the Instapump Furies. Super cool, super quirky runner. Same thing here too. They are the Air Jordan 13 Chris Paul PE in the Hornets Away colorway. I actually have two pairs. It wasn't by choice, it was sort of by chance. Sort of an impulse cop because I missed out on the Flints and I really wanted those. But aside from that, a lot of my Jordan pickups this year have obviously been Jordan 1s. So I got some lows, got some mids, obviously have a bunch of highs. You'd be surprised because I have 3 pairs of these Midnight Navy Jordan 1s, and as much as I like them, they didn't make the list. There's one pair of Jordan 1s specifically that I really enjoyed. Oh yeah, that's not coming out with one hand, hang on. Here they are. Probably didn't expect to see these, but they're the Zen Green Zoom Air Jordan 1s. I picked up a few Jordan 1s this year, like the Royal Toes and the Tokyo Biohacks. As much as I like them, they're not quite lovable pairs to me. These are different from the typical Jordan 1 releases in that they use the Zoom Air technology for a little added comfort, but otherwise the ideology is the same. You know, it's just a Air Jordan 1 silhouette, and then the materials and sort of colorway are discretionary. The specific one looks so much like the Brute SB Dunk to me, so that's part of the reason why I grabbed it. Resale prices aren't so bad, so despite these selling out on release day, nobody really messes with them, and you'll know that they bricked, as the kids like to say. But that's perfect for someone like me who actually collects sneakers to wear and enjoy. This video actually dropped last night at the time of making this video, so I'm gonna pull these out to show you guys briefly, but a lot of the information is in that video. So these were part of Adidas's A through ZX series that they've been doing this year. Collab between Bape, Undefeated, and Adidas obviously, and the ZX 8000. So I caught both colorways from that release, and I'm super glad to have them. I'm a huge CX 8000 fan, so. And I guess while I have them out too, this is another pickup I made this year. It's the ZX 5000, same collaborators, so Undefeated and Bape teamed up on these as well. But these came out in 2013, so by me having these 2 pairs and this one, I've technically completed the set. Again, I picked these up earlier this year. I want to say it was like April or May, so this makes the list as well. Here's actually a pickup that I've really enjoyed this year. Video on these is out as well. They're the Ultra Boost 2.0 in the Lady Liberty colorway. I know the Ultra Boost is dead to most, but to me it's something that I never got in the peak of the hype. Aside from the OG colorways of the Ultra Boost 1.0, this colorway is probably the one that speaks to me the most. No particular reason, I just think it's super clean and I like the New York City tie to it. So enough to have 2 pairs. I have a pair that I wear, and then I have a pair to keep on ice, which is this one. Not sure when I'll pull these out, but you know, just glad to have both, and I got them both for a pretty reasonable price, all things considered. And taking a look at these plastic shoe boxes, there's nothing that comes out at me as one of my favorites this year, but I did want to note a few. This first one is the LeBron James Air Force 1 PE from 2003. So this thing is still in super good condition, super clean. I picked them up earlier this summer. This is probably one of my most worn sneakers this year. It's the wet floor sign dunks from, 2010, 2011. These remind me a lot of high school, so just a lot of memories tied behind these. Not one of my favorites, but just the nostalgia makes it worth noting. These are cool too. These were a sample 997 made in USA. And actually, speaking of samples, let me run into the studio real quick. These are in the studio because I'm kind of working on the video and I'm kind of not, but I have more New Balance samples. Here I have 2 pairs of the 850 samples, and then I have these 327 samples. New Balance samples are just a cool, quirky thing to have in the collection, and if you could tell by my collection, it's pretty big, so glad to have little weird things like that. Moving leftbound, here's another little stack of miscellaneous things. Here's another notable one. It's not making the list, but I figured I'd show you guys because you might not have seen it. Receipt in there. It's the Patrick Star Kyrie 5. These came out last year in 2019. I loved SpongeBob growing up as a kid. I actually have a Patrick Star plushie that I'll pull out right now. He's hiding behind the TV in that bottle right there, but these are notable. Not one of my favorites, but definitely a very notable pickup this year. You can tell it's an old style Nike box, and it is a Zoom Kobe 1. So yeah, the Kobe 1 is my favorite silhouette. I personally didn't have these growing up, but there was a kid on my team that had these, and that's part of getting into the sneaker game. It reminds you of a bunch of things, and this is one of them. So nobody was really messing with Kobe 1s really, unless you're playing basketball. And then, you know, just given the unfortunate circumstance of what's going on, you know, Kobe prices have been shooting up in value. Nike's bringing back the Kobe 5, the Kobe 6, and pretty much everything, and it's a shame that it's nearly impossible for consumers like me that are fans of Kobe and basketball to get their hands on a pair, but that's just the name of the game. So I grabbed these this year at a good price from 2006, and they have been worn maybe once or twice. Really good condition, definitely one of my favorites this year. All right, so we're getting down to the wire here. This is just a pair of Dunks. These came in recently. They're the New York Mets or Knicks colorway. Bought these because of nostalgia, but they didn't make the list because they aren't one of my favorites, but they are very notable. What is notable from the stack though are these, which I'll pull out right now. So these are the Supreme Air Max Pluses. I really like these. This is probably the sneaker that I've been going to a lot over the past month. I made a pickup video on these. I got these from a resale shop down in Jersey City, New Jersey. I struck out on the Supreme release. I struck out on the sneakers release, so I'm glad to get them now. I'm on the hunt for that mean green colorway too, so if you have any leads, hit the DMs on Instagram, but for now, these will definitely do. I forgot to note this little stack too. I'm gonna shout out my bottle cap table. I made this during the initial quarantine in April, and it turned out to be really nice. But it also houses a few Yeezy sneakers. These are the 700 V3 and the Azareth colorways. I like those a lot, but this one is actually my favorite Yeezy pickup this year. Let me pull these out. These are the Yeezy 500 Stones. Chromed. Oh, what is that? There is a stain on there that I do not like, but Yeezy 500 was a model that I've always wanted. It was never really in the cards for me to go out and grab them for retail just because, you know, things come up. But I went back and grabbed these on Gawd for a good price, a few bucks over retail. I actually picked up another pair of 500s right there. They're not making the list because I like these a tad more, but you may have seen these in a few other videos. Definitely one of my favorites. I've gotten a lot of good wears out of them and they still look pretty decent, so I guess it's the best for last. I have these little cubbies at my desk, and it's where I keep, I want to say they're my most prized possessions, but at the same time, obviously things live on the racks and stuff, so that slot's missing because it was the Bape ZX 5000. But yeah, these are all pretty notable, so I'll just go through it real quick. These are the Jordan 4 Retros, the PSG colorway that released earlier this year. Haven't worn them yet, haven't really showed you guys them yet on the channel, but I have them. Here too are two pairs of OVO Jordans. They're both in the black colorway. I've really warmed up to black colors on sneakers. I'm a big Drake fan. That Noctis stuff just came out. I didn't get any of it because I'm not paying $400 for a puffer jacket retail, but I have the Jordan sneakers. I like them a lot. I feel everything that I've pulled out in this list so far I'd probably wear ahead of those OVOs, but yeah, they just sit on the cubbies because I do like them. These are the Supermoon Yellow 500s that I grabbed for retail recently from Gawd on Black Friday. Again, I like the stone pair, but they just live here because there's no room down there. So let me get to the ones that I really enjoy. So here is the first pair. I know this will probably make a lot of people's top lists, but for me, I think aside from the actual silhouette, is the Nike Vapor Waffle Sacai collab that released late this year in 2020. I have the fuchsia colorway in my hand, and I won these off of a raffle from Dover Street Market in New York City. I made a vlog on picking these up. It was the first time I was in the city since the pandemic had started. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to wear these yet. Come springtime, these things are definitely getting worn. It's interesting too because I've always been a fan of the Sacai stuff from Nike, but was never able to get my hands on them. I'm actually trying to get my hands on a pair of the LD waffles, so if you guys have any leads on those, also hit me in the DMs. But again, you guys know me, I'm into the weird stuff, obviously. So this is definitely a solid pickup, one of my favorites this year. And then last but certainly not least, these for sure are probably one of the best sneakers to come out this year, both personally and what the people are saying. You know, I don't let hype really dictate what I buy, but you know, it is good to listen in sometimes, and here is a pair that I got super lucky on. So if you don't know what these are the Union 4 collabed Air Jordan 4. They sort of set the bar for sneaker releases. I mean, as you all know, the sneaker market nowadays is just inundated with bots and botters and resellers. They add another layer of security, and they most notably asked, what was the question? It was like, what color is an orange? Obviously, bots aren't able to get to that in time, so someone like me, who's a manual user, was able to just type in orange, and lucky enough, I got through the queue, and I got these things at retail. These things retailed at $250, which is a pretty hefty ask to begin with, but you know, resale prices have shot up since, you know, and watching the market. Again, I don't look at it too closely, but these things are worth like $600, $800, or even $1,000, depending on the size. So try them on. You can see there are a few creases. I've walked around the house in them, not sure what to do with them because money's good, but at the same time, like, I lust over sneakers like this to own a pair of super hype sneakers for retail. So I think even hype aside too, the color blocking is super sweet. I mean, if you've seen the sneakers that I've pulled out, they're all weird in their own ways, and I think in this case, this is definitely a weird one to have. So I don't know, let me know what you guys think, but this is the last of the favorites, so it's going to be added to this list right now. So this is unintentional. I've pulled out 21 sneakers, which I guess is a great foreshadowing and going from 2020 to 2021, if that makes sense. Boxes are all out. I'm gonna sort of put them all on the rug here, take a picture for the gram. Again, be sure to follow me if you don't on there, that'd be great. Alrighty, so this is what the initial stack looks like. I took a few pictures. I think it looks good, so we're gonna leave it at that. But yeah, I think that wraps it up. 21 of my favorite sneakers that I've picked up this year. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys have a happy new year, and hopefully 2021 will be good to you. I just want to take a moment, let you guys know that this didn't happen overnight. You know, as much as I love sneakers, you know, we work hard for the things that we enjoy, and this was certainly the byproduct of all that. You know, there's more to life than sneakers, and that's something I'm slowly starting to realize in seeing all these things out. You know, as much as it is a hobby for me, I don't need all these things, so at some point in 2021 I'll be unloading a lot of stuff, so definitely stay tuned on that. But for now, we're enjoying it, we're making videos like this, we're keeping the channel growing. Again, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. It really goes a long way in helping me out. If you guys like stuff like this, I'll continue doing it. But we're gonna wrap up now. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to clean this up. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.